What it do, my nation? I'm Raiders Rebel, host of Raiders Rebel Unleashed, and tonight we're gonna break down this man and what he means to the Las Vegas Raiders defense, pairing with Max Crosby, Malcolm Koontz, Tyree Wilson.
Oh my God!
Man, might be a little drool on my mouth. I'm probably salivating just a little bit. This Sin City Misfits defense, that's what I call them. That's what y'all start calling them too. Start hashtagging that shit. Sin City Misfits, baby. That's it right there. This man, Christian Wilkins, coming to the Las Vegas Raiders. They signed him to $110 million. Y'all should know by now, unless you're sleeping under a rock, which I might be here soon, but that's a different story. Christian Wilkins, 4 years, $110 million. As you can see, is a Las Vegas Raider. AP, Tommy T, Tom Telesco, kudos to you. Go out, get your man. So, Christian Wilkins comes in and says, first off, he's taking this man, Tyree Wilson, under his wing. What does this mean for Tyree Wilson? Tyree Wilson was drafted in the 7th round by the Las Vegas Raiders. Everybody's saying he was a bust. He's only had 1 year. He had no training camp, no OTAs, missed half the season. The man was hurt. Give him a break. I say he's going to have a bust-out year. You pair Tyree Wilson with these two monsters right here, Malcolm Koonce, Mad Max Crosby. That's a nasty, nasty front four. I don't care who you are in the NFL or how good your offensive line is. This is devastating for the AFC West and for anybody we face. This defense is going to be outrageously dominating when it comes to the front line. Bringing back this man, Adam Butler, just adds to the mix. Christian Wilkins, Malcolm Koontz, Tyree Wilson, the pimp daddy of all, Max Crosby, Adam Butler, not to mention the rest of the players on the line. We lost Bilal Nichols. Shout out to you for going and get your bag. Kudos to you. I hope you do great in all your future endeavors. Once a Raider, always a Raider. Thank you for the time and the effort you put on the field. I appreciate it. It got you that bag. All this leading up to the greatest defensive lineman in all time. How good can this Raiders defense be? With Christian Wilkinson, sorry, my throat is jacked up. Let me get a drink. With Christian Wilkins and Mad Max Crosby, they already are the greatest duo in the history of the Raiders franchise. They have never had a duo like this in the history of the Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, Oakland Raiders, or the Los Angeles Raiders. Last time they were even close, they brought in this man for 1 year. I believe the last year or the last 2 years, I think it was the last 2 years of Howie Long's career. Howie Long played 10 years for the Raiders. If you don't know, you might be like 8 or 9 or 10. Howie Long is the greatest defensive lineman all time in Raiders franchise history. And I bid every year that he should be the Raiders coach. But he wasn't. Anyways, they brought in this man, Greg Townsend. And these two, in the 2 years Greg Townsend was a Raider, was the best duo, in my opinion, and in the stats, that the Raiders have ever had paired up together in history. Yeah, they brought in Warren Sapp, and we had some dogs on that 2002. Whenever we got our ass kicked by Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl, I try to forget that. Anyways, the last time we had monsters on the defensive line, plugging up the middle and wreaking havoc on quarterbacks in the NFL and running backs alike, were these two, Greg Townsend and Howie Long. Howie Long was at the end of his career, and Greg Townsend didn't stick around much for the Las Vegas Raiders. While he was there, he made his mark. All this leads to Christian Wilkins and Mad Max Crosby. In my opinion, you heard it here first. Raiders, Rebel Unleashed. These two will go down as the greatest duo in Las Vegas history. Mad Max Crosby coming off 15, 16 sacks, whatever he had last year. Christian Wilkins with 9 sacks. I believe Christian Wilkins will probably have close to Mad Max's number, 15 or 16 sacks. And I'm predicting that Mad Max Crosby, with these monsters of the Midway, Malcolm Koontz, Mad Max Crosby, Tyree Wilson, my man Adam Butler, who was a dog last year with 5 sacks, and Christian Wilkins. This is going to be the greatest defensive line in the history of the NFL. Mark my words, Raider Rebel, you heard it here first. There's no way they can't. With AP and Patrick Graham, the teacher, the master, the mastermind behind this defense, who brought this defense from trash to top 10 defense in the NFL. With these guys pairing together, it's unstoppable, man. Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, we coming for you. We coming for you. Jordan rules, baby. Jordan rules. Anyways, next up on the line was Richard Seymour. Richard Seymour was a dominant defensive line for the Raiders. Played 7 years for the Raiders. We also have Big Man. Anybody know who it is? Come on. Name in the chats. Damn. Chester McGlockton. Chester McGlockton took over after Howie Long retired from the Raiders and had a pretty solid career with the I keep saying Las Vegas Raiders, with the Oakland Raiders. Chester McGlockton played 3 years with the Raiders and dominated the front line, plugged the middle, stopped the run, until this man, Warren Sapp, came in. It seems like every 10 years, the Raiders have a dominant defensive tackle or defensive end to come in. We had Howie Long, then Chester McGlockton come in, Richard Seymour come in there for a while. We also had Greg Townsend, about 10 years in the end of Howie's long career, so that's about 10 years difference. Richard Seymour was 10 years after Greg Townsend. Chester McGlockton was in the middle in there. I know everybody's saying, where's Khalil Mack? Where's Khalil Mack? Khalil Mack, in my opinion, was a linebacker. He played mostly linebacker when he was with the Raiders and didn't become a defensive end until after he left the Raiders. Warren Sapp, on the other hand, sorry, this video is going way too fast. I'm going to have to spread it out. Warren Sapp, on the other hand, came to the Raiders, took us to the Super Bowl. And I didn't know this video was going to go so long, so the shit behind me is not going to work, but the video will when you get to it. So, Warren Sapp came to the Las Vegas Raiders with Rich Gannon, Tim Brown, Marcus Allen. I'm sorry, not Marcus Allen. Jerry Rice. And they dominated the AFC West for 3 years. Rich Gannon came in as a backup quarterback. Didn't have much of a great career until he came to the Raiders. Hopefully Gardner Minshew can do the same. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Gardner Minshew has the talent to take a top 5 defense to the Super Bowl? I definitely think he has the talent to take us to the playoffs. Anyways, Christian Wilkins coming to the Las Vegas Raiders means hell on NFL opposing offensive lines, quarterbacks, receivers, and running backs. This defensive line is going to go down, like I said, as the greatest defensive line in Raiders history. Not many Pro Bowlers not many defensive tackles or defensive end Pro Bowlers in Raiders history. Let me know in the chat, in the comments below, if you can name how many Raider Pro Bowlers we have had, not counting Max Crosby. I know nobody's going to answer because nobody watches my videos this long. But if you do know and you answered 6, you are absolutely correct. In the history of the Las Vegas Raiders, we have only had 6 Pro Bowl defensive tackles. 6. This historic franchise has only had 6. Put that all together, Christian Wilkins and Mad Max Crosby with Malcolm Koontz, Tyree Wilson, Adam Butler, and the rest of the gang and whoever we bring in is going to be the greatest defense in the history of the NFL. Mark my words. These two were the monsters of the Midway, and it's been a long time since we've had anybody to fill up the middle like these two monsters did. But now it's a new era. We have left Oakland. We have left LA. And we are now in Sin City, baby. Sin City Misfits defense is going to wreak havoc on the entire NFL. Sorry, I can't find them damn pictures. If you watched this long, you're a diehard Raiders fan. Sack that thumbs up. Give me a Mad Max kick on that subscribe bell. And if you're vibing with any of this content, or if I brought you any knowledge or information, tickle them noties. It lets me know that you're vibing with this content and that you'd like to be notified when new content is dropped. With that being said, Raiders! Much love, my nation. Peace. If y'all could get me to 1,000 subscribers before draft day, man, I'd love to go live for y'all. Just saying. Check out my other videos.